A long time ago, in a galaxy far away, the opening lines of one of the biggest movie franchises in the world, if not the biggest, and what is really behind it, what is the hidden messages behind it, and how has a space movie with spaceships and aliens set in the past, unlike any other film, the Star Wars film, the 6 films truly are more than just a movie. In fact, the line should really read, a long time ago, on this world that seems galaxies away from what it is today.
So yeah, the cosmic force that created the universe, that creates the cycles that we all live by, from the galaxy, it turns the galaxies, turns the planets, the solar system, everything. When they're looking for the reasons why this and that and this and that, with dark energy and dark matter, why they've called it that. I don't know if that's some kind of conspiracy, again, dark and black magic, something, something that sort of kind of ties up there, but I don't know. Obviously they don't understand it, yeah. But, as works in unison, it has many threads of it, and as, like, when we are being grown inside our own mothers, we are alive before we're actually born. So that we're just like, and that's just the same as the universe. We can't say that it's this old because it's not. It's impossible to say because it's not even properly done. Still, it's all in a cycle, and science tries to put everything in a linear way, but no, it's in a cycle, and that's how when they talk about the Star Wars. Well, it's so obvious by looking at this the secrets of the Sith that let's get this note. That main protagonist in the prequels, one that gets killed for nothing, or Snoke or whatever, Snoke is it? Yeah, it was meant to be a pure blood Sith, and that's what it was meant to be. It was meant to reiterate the point that Jedi did not, they needed to learn from their mistakes. They needed to get true balance of the Force, and the true balance of the Force is not grey or anything like that. You can't. It's not good and evil, because evil is not the opposite of good. It's bad. Bad choices. People make bad choices. People think they do good, but they're doing bad. It's bad choices. Everything's choices. It's like in Africa and other countries, they didn't even have demonic gods. They had polar opposites, just like a feminine to a masculine. But they did have demonic gods, and nor did Judeo-Christianity until the Second Temple period, when they decided to create the Satan that these programs so maliciously talk about. But not just that, they talk with such hatred. Now, I don't think I know it sounds like I'm preaching, but this is just pure compassion, because this is how I express myself. We don't get angry anymore. We're allowed to be that. But what it is what should have been shown within prequels, is that at a very microscopic level of the Force, that there is the choice, good and evil, and that the pure blood Sith imprinted themselves up on the masters who were slaughtered and killed them, just like karma does, in a way. People who kill today have the demons of the people who killed inside their head, and that is the whole story of why this plague, the names seem so obvious within it as well. He's a plague, he infects people, and he's infected the Palpatine. Oh, that Palpatine in mind now. He infects that Palpatine, and when that Snoke comes, he's not a Sith, but he's a feeder of the Force. That's why it's supposed to be on that planet, for a reason, because the whole area around them is supposed to be devoid of life, because they're feeders of the Force. Whatever group put them there in the past, put them there for a reason, imprisoned them there for a reason. I know the story's changed, I've been told, but that's how it was supposed to be, and that would have been your more shock or moment, that you would see who was really behind the Emperor, and it would just sort of show the new Jedi, the Skywalkers, that they need to learn the lessons of the past. And I was told this the other day by he does that in the third one. He says to him. He said he goes, he has a moment where he goes dark, but he controls his emotions. It's when it's when his father, the other Dark Lord, the student, the betrayer, mentions his sister or his friends or something like that. Something that he's got emotion about. I mean, so it's devoid of emotion. It's just wrong. It was just their way to be, because they truly believed in the system. Like many people today believe in the system, and it's not working. And then there's people that don't believe in the system but don't say anything about it. But those politicians don't give a shit about you. They are doing some shady stuff, whether it's trying to create wars with China or trying to pretend there's some kind of alien invasion. I know it's so laughable to hear, but these are the things that we are getting from real sources. And when I'm talking about real sources, I mean we have people working inside places, and we get all these real sources, and that's why we get in trouble so much, especially with that document, especially with not my generation, but before me, revealing to others about Project Paperclip. The Americans spent and the Russians spent billions taxpayers' money on ESP because they wanted to build a US Jedi army, and that was just there in the documents. And we've got another man covered.
Thoth and Osiris. An Egyptian Chehuti or Tehuti, who has already been mentioned as the author of the text that formed the Pert Im Heru, or Book of the Dead, was believed by the Egyptians to have been the heart and mind of the creator, who was in very early times in Egypt called by the natives Pauti, and by foreigners Ra. Thoth was also the tongue of the creator, and he at times voiced the will of the great god, and spoke the words which commanded every being and thing in heaven and in earth to come into existence. His words were almighty, and once uttered, never remained without effect. He framed the laws by which heaven, earth, and all the heavenly bodies were maintained. He ordered the courses of the sun, moon, and stars. He invented drawing and design and the arts, the letters of the alphabet, and the art of writing, and the science of mathematics. At a very early period, he was called the scribe, or secretary of the great company of the gods, and as he kept the celestial register of the words and deeds of men, he was regarded by many generations of Egyptians as the recording angel. He was the inventor of physical and moral law, and became the personification of justice, and as the companies of the gods of heaven and earth and the other world appointed him to weigh the words and deeds of men, and his verdicts were unalterable, he became more powerful in the other world than Osiris himself. Osiris owed his triumph over Set in the great judgment hall of the gods entirely to the skill of Thoth, of the wise mouth, and as an advocate, and to his influence with the gods in heaven. And every follower of Osiris relied upon the advocacy of Thoth to secure his acquittal on the day of judgment, and to procure for him an everlasting habitation in the kingdom of Osiris.
Set was deeply jealous of his brother. Therefore, he plotted a ruse to bring him down from his throne. The god of destruction murdered his brother and robbed his throne. But Osiris had a descendant named Horus, the hawk god. He sought to avenge his father's death and take the throne from the usurper. The clash between Horus and Set is one of the most renowned stories in Egyptian mythology. For a long time, the gods fought among themselves. In the end, Horus emerged victoriously. The gods acknowledged Set's immense power and considered too important to be wasted. Then it was decided that Set would sail along with Ra, the solar god, protecting the latter from the terrible Apophis serpent. Whenever Apophis emerged to attack Ra's ship, Set defended the world against the eternal night. According to some scholars, at the beginning of Egyptian civilization, Set was considered one of the main gods of Upper Egypt. On the opposite side, Horus was worshipped in Lower Egypt. But after the unification of Egypt, Set, connected to the Semitic invaders from the north, lost much of his prestige. The victory of Horus's followers over the Hyksos, who worshipped Set, symbolized the victory of those who represent order against the agents of chaos and destruction. Set's action was attached to the destruction of crops, hunger and thirst, massive heat, and droughts. The day that represented Set's birth was considered a day of bad luck. So, on this day, the beginning of new projects and undertakings was not recommended. Although defeated and rejected, the great power and influence of Set within the ancient Egyptian religion are just undeniable.